Okay, last exercise before we move into the portfolio project for lesson 7. So this one is basically the most difficult challenge because we're starting from scratch. And what we're doing here is creating a page about anything that we'd like. It should have a jumbotron followed by a navbar. The navbar must have a navbar header and it should have at least 4 links. And the links can contain href equals hashtag. This is called an anchor. You can use it to link to specific pages in or specific parts of a web page, but it can also be placeholder. So we can use this placeholder for now rather than linking to somewhere else. So one of the links should be the active link. So here's an example. This page is about marine animals, and the navbar header is the marina, and then the 4 links are whale, sharks, coral, fish. The challenge is also including adding style. So we should add a background image or background color to the Jumbotron. And if we're feeling adventurous, we can add custom colors to the navbar using the navbar classes. Let's break this down bit by bit before we get to styling. Let's work on the structure first. So when you run this, you're not going to see anything because the body is empty, right? So starting at the top, I'm going to use this not copying it, just using it as a model here. So starting at the top, I know I need a Jumbotron, so I'm going to go ahead and make a div with the class equal to Jumbotron. And inside of the div, I'm going to create a second div with the class equal to container and text center. All right. Now in here, I'll use my H1 tag to create the title. I'm going to make my page about my CodeHS project. So assuming this is a portfolio site, I want to show off my CodeHS work. I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Okay. You can totally make this about whatever you'd like or even copy the example, but be creative, have fun. Here is the Jumbotron, what we have so far. So simple and basic. Mine is centered. You don't have to center yours. Now let's add in the nav bar. That's what this whole lesson is really about. So starting at the beginning, I'm going to use my nav tag, and the class is going to be nav bar, and I want the nav bar, the default one for now. Okay. Inside of my nav tag, I'm going to create a div with the class equal to container fluid. Okay, this is going to hold the content of my navigation. And then inside of that, I need a div with the class equal to navbar header. Inside of this div, I'm going to do my href. This is going to hold my navbar header. I'm going to set it to the anchor for now. And the link, or sorry, the class should say navbar header. And I'm going to call mine Hello Dina. This is what I use for my channel and what I'm going to use for my header in this case. Now, in the second part, I need to create the rest of my navigation. So I'm going to do so using an unordered list. And my unordered list is going to have the class equal to navbar have. Okay. Now to create my links inside of the navbar, I'm going to need list items. So starting with my first link, let's say I'm going to start with HTML projects, and then I will have a link to the CSS projects. And since I need 4 links, I'm going to add in the next unit that I know we're going to get to eventually, which is UI design. So let's see what this gives us so far. We're going to run it. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so actually before we add some styling, we want to do a couple of things. First, we want to turn the list items into links. That's something I noticed that I'm missing here. So for now, again, we can use this anchor and make sure that you move that closing link tag to the other side. So we want to repeat that for the rest of our links because these are not list items in a regular list, they're actual links. So we want to make sure that we have that for all of them. We also want to make one of them active. So assuming we're on the HTML page, I'll make this one the active class. And I'm noticing up here, I repeated navbar header twice. This should be navbar brand. So far, this should be the basic structure of what we need. Then we can move on to styling. So let's run this and actually open it up in a new window so we can see the full effect. All right, so here you go. You can see that we have the Jumbotron, we have the 4 links. When we hover over them, we get this cool hover effect. This is part of the navbar class styling, and then also we have this navbar header. Right now, they're not linking anywhere. They're just anchors, so there's placeholders, but you get the idea. All right, so very nice job. Let's go ahead and add in some styling to finish this up. So I'm going to do a really basic background color for my Jumbotron. So I'm going to add in a style sheet by hitting new and linking to style CSS. All right, don't forget, you're going to have to link to it inside of your HTML page as well. So underneath the Bootstrap CSS, go ahead and create a link that links to this style sheet before we forget to do that. None of the rules will apply if we don't do this. So very quickly, let's link it up. Style CSS is going to be the href. Oops. Okay. And now we can use the Jumbotron class. So .jumbotron. And I'm going to use the docs to use the color name supported by HTML. So for background colors, I like to stick to neutrals. So I might do something like this dark khaki color. And then I would do that for the background. And then for the color itself, maybe choose something that is a little brighter that would pop off of that. So that's sort of like, I would say like a greenish brown. So I might even stick to something really, really like neutral, like this ghost white. Okay. If this was a real project, I'd be giving a little more time than this, but you get the idea. So here you go. You get this sort of nice contrast, light text color with this neutral font color. And then for my navbar, again, all I need to do is use the navbar classes to style this. So I will use the navbar class and I will style the navbar to also have a background color. So this one, I can do background color. Let's see. Maybe something that would pop well with that dark khaki color. Okay, maybe this indigo. Okay, and again, if things don't work out when you try them at first or the colors don't look good, always go back and try different things. So not a bad color combo, but this blue definitely could be improved. So again, I might choose this ghost white for the font color. If you wanted to go with like a consistent look across the page, but you can also choose something different. All right, so spinal selectors, we're gonna have to dig a little deeper to get the tags inside. So for the header, I want the anchor tag, and for my navbar nav, I want the anchor tags inside of my list items. So the final result gives you this consistent white font color across the navbar. Also just gave me the idea that the navbar brand could be its own color if you wanted that to stick out and pop out a little bit more. So for example, I might go with something like, to pop off against that purple, I might just do like a basic yellow color. So yellow, this is just an idea, but you know, you can totally play around with it. Remember, it's your project. So for that selector, I might just make a different color. Oops. Now we're making it really complicated. All right, so again, I sort of like this kind of stuff, layout and design, and playing with different color palettes. So this might be a nice way to take your brand and have it stick out a little bit more, your navbar header, and separates out the rest of the navbar. So this looks really great, really professional. Take your time with it. Make sure that you take screenshots if you need to. You can use mine as a model, but remember, play around with the colors and layout if you like to try different things. This is my CSS and final HTML. Okay, very nice work, ladies and gentlemen. This wraps it up. Last but not least, you'll move back into the portfolio project. Take what you've learned about Navbars and apply it to the portfolio project. Can't wait to see what you build. We're just 2 lessons away from the end of Bootstrap. So very nice work. Keep it up. You're almost there.